A warm welcome to you E-Loungers to yet another episode of the E-Lounge. Beautiful, relatable, and real lessons from an authentic, intentional, and purpose-led, imperfect life, perfectly seasoned with Thami's usual openness, grit, delight. That is what Dr. Thebe Ikalafin said about today's book in review. Today we have the privilege of speaking to the message architect, Thami Nkadimeng, author of Finding Purpose, Lessons from the Message Architect. Thami is a respected global moderator, a corporate MC, and program director with a diverse background in communications and marketing. She has moderated on world stages conversations around finance, mining, construction, tourism, IT, science, and many more. In 2023, she was recognized as one of the top 100 most influential people of African descent under 40, a testament to her influence and impact on a global scale. In her book, she describes her life in mains, starter, and dessert, and says it's perfectly okay to view yours in a different order because life has no formula after all. The E-Lounge is a unique platform dedicated to knowledge sharing and fostering a culture of reading. We do believe that true leaders are not just readers, but they are seekers of diverse perspectives, open to learning and committed to sharing their knowledge for the betterment of all.
A very warm welcome to the E-Lounge. Today we are joined in our studio by the message architect, Thami Nkadimeng. Thami, a very warm welcome to you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us. I do, as I always say in our episodes, that please grab your pencils, grab your pens, because today we are going to be walking away with a whole lot of insights, and you need to keep up because we are with the message architect. So there's going to be lots of words and lots to learn in today's episode. Thami, right straight onto it. As I read your book, the very first thing that struck me, amongst other things, is on page 97, I think. You say, who are you? Asking each and every single one of us to think about who we are, not just our name. So who are you, Thami?
I love, I'm so glad you started there because it's something that's been resonating with me at the moment. I think we live in such a society that puts weight on what they have and not who they are.
Yeah.
And it's because I think materialistic stuff has been put in the forefront versus the inner self and what we follow.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, I'm God's child before anything else. I belong to God. If you were to shred everything away from my life, I am God's child. I am also a mom to two beautiful boys and a husband to an absolutely incredible young man. I'll call him like that. I'm my mom's daughter, and amongst other things, I play different roles in terms, like I'm an aunt, I'm a friend, I'm a sister, I'm a cousin. I'm a lot of those roles. But within my purpose journey, I am the message architect. That's who I am.
Okay. I'm glad that you mentioned that you're a child of God, right? Because I saw something which I thought was fascinating in the book where you said you are the Almighty's deliverable.
Yeah.
You are the Almighty's KPI.
I'm God's KPI.
Yes. So I thought to myself, let's talk a little bit about you, spirituality, and what your angle is and how it influences your life with your family and also what you do as the message architect.
You're touching me in my studio now. I won't get emotional about it. I'll just get very technical about it.
Sure.
So I grew up in a very religious and spiritual home.
Okay.
When I say that, every Sunday we had to go to church. It was a non-negotiable when it comes to my mom.
Yeah.
And so I got to a stage where we joined even a church as a teenager. Whether I was listening at church, in here, out here, I was still forced to be in the presence of God.
Yes.
And God was spoken very freely about in my home. In hindsight, I'm so thankful because I think that's what saved me through a lot of nonsense. because I always had a godly fear, like, oh, he's watching.
Okay.
So I'd still make the mistake, but I wouldn't get too deep because I'd be like, oh, okay, man, I can't do.
Yeah.
So in essence, I've always had a relationship with God, but not necessarily as intensified. I think we just got really super tight, God and I, as life progressed.
Yes.
To a point where I'm able to hear his voice very clearly.
Okay.
Pretty much 80% of the decisions I make in life are because they're an instruction from him, including writing the book. So the day he told me to write the book is the day I started writing the book, and I wrote it within 2 weeks because he then instructed me to hand it in and submit it to a specific publication company. But in order to get there, I had to phone somebody and get the link to the publication. I just remember being like, God, but I don't even speak to this guy. Like, what am I going to start by saying? He said, you just do it.
Yeah.
And he had instructed me to submit it on my birthday.
Okay.
As a birthday gift.
To yourself?
I suppose to myself, because I don't think he cares for birthday gifts. And his birthday, I don't know when God's birthday is. I just know Jesus' birthday, which is Christmas Day. So I consult God, the Holy Spirit, and Jesus for a lot of the stuff that I do professionally, personally. I request their guidance, but I am human, so sometimes I forget, and then I do things. I'm like, oh, should I ask God what to do? But I'm very clear that I'm nothing without my God and my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I'm nothing.
Okay. I think it's an interesting spiritual philosophy and how you craft it and you word it in the book. But we'll talk about that some more a little bit later. You mentioned your mom. I'm glad that you do, because it is Women's Month. I want to start, talking about you sharing a little bit about the important women in your life. For me, in terms of the book, your mom and Mrs. Simpson. So let's just give some, resonance, some dignity to those women. What would you like to share about your mom and Mrs. Simpson?
I didn't want to cry whenever I
I'm sorry.
Simpson.
Sorry, but it is Women's Month.
Look, I grew up around a lot of incredible women. I couldn't fit all of them in the book. In actual fact, I was quite deliberate because there's a time and place to write a memoir and cover absolutely everything. This book was specifically about lessons from the Message Architect. And as a precursor, I want to let you know, I only want to write a memoir when I'm 60 or 70. And the reason I want to do that is I'll be a billionaire by that time. If you write a memoir, but you still are, you're relying on somebody else to pay your paycheck, generally the memoir is a PR stunt. Because you can't just say whatever you want. You still care about your image. So I want to write my memoir when I'm writing my own paycheck. And then I can be completely honest. So a lot of those women I will bring up, but I definitely did want to mention these two in this book, because I'll mention them again in the memoir. But there was my my aunts, a lot of incredible women. My mom is a gem. She was definitely assigned to me by God. I don't think any other woman would have guided my life journey with the grace that she did. I put her through some stuff. I was a naughty teenager, and not just as a teenager, even in my 20s. I mean, the kind of guys I've introduced her to that I was like, we're going to be my partner. She's like, don't bring him to my house, please. It needed grace. It needed somebody with compassion. It needed somebody with a lot of patience. My mom, strange enough, is gifted with things that I'm not gifted with, but strange enough, my mom and my husband have the same personalities. So that's clearly what God wants, the yings to my yangs, or whatever, the the positives to my negative, like a battery. Miss Simpson, my guardian angel on earth. She was my English teacher in high school for the last 2 years of my schooling. I wasn't the sharpest crayon in the box at school, but I could still color. And so academics weren't really my thing. I would just get by. But the two subjects I really, really did well in was English and drama. And she quickly picked up when I joined the school that I was going to be her ace card in the back pocket. Because when you do public speaking competitions, debating and all of that, you want to bring your A game as a school, because the school is then rated great culturally. So I wasn't the kid you were going to pick to be a prefect or head girl, but I was the kid you wanted in the debating and cultural space. And so she then realized that I was living, my mom was a single mom at that stage when I was in standard 9, grade 11, they call it now. And so she realized that if she didn't step in as a mom and a woman figure, there's a lot of things I would miss out on. So every time my mom couldn't take me to debate competitions, speaking, whatever, she would actually take me herself. And she invested in it. She actually, she preempted back then what I would become eventually. And it's going exactly in that direction, and I don't want to reveal it, because I will reveal it when it happens, because I don't want to give energy. But she called it. She called exactly what's happening right now. Okay,
that's amazing. And to your earlier point where you said that when you write your memoir at 60, 70 as the billionaire, she called it first here in the lounge. Please remember that. But let's just a bit about the book, Thami. It's a very easy to read book. You share, bits about your life, and you give a lot of advice in the book. And I couldn't help but wonder, now I understand when you say you got the message to write the book. What was it that you needed to share with the world with this book?
Look, the book initially, when I actually handed it in to the publication company, was 25 chapters long. And the end result is only 14. And it was because I just knew in the pit of my stomach and through the Holy Spirit that I needed to hold off a certain information until it's ready to come out. When I wrote the book, it was never with intention to give advice. I was just telling my life and the advice that I would give to myself if I was reading the book. I'm not pro people telling other people how to live their lives. Our lives are not meant to be the same. And I often use the example that if life were cake, I don't want to tell you to use milk in your life when I use milk in mine, because your life might be lactose intolerant. So the book was never written to say, I am teaching you this. And also, the minute you write a book with that kind of intention, the rawness falls away, because you want to give the stuff that just teaches the lessons. So it poured out supernaturally. And it was me just saying, I guess I was writing to myself, but it was also a healing process for me. When I wrote the book, I had to relive all that stuff. Which I don't think I had done in that way. We're now on August. My book launched in February. The last time I read the book was last October. I can't bring myself to reading it again now, because there's a lot of stuff you need to process when you do that. But I'm also glad I didn't get to do that, because number one, some of the advice that I wrote, I don't remember it. Some of the wisdom everybody shares, I don't remember some of it. But that's the beauty of embracing what it's done for everybody else without you imposing what everybody's meant to feel about it. Because I'm not PRing.
You're just sharing your life story.
That's it. It's not, none of this is PR for me. So I can't say, even when you say page 97, I'm like, oh, did I say that? Okay, great.
I think we're going to have a lot of those then, because as I go through the book, I mean, there's specific things that just jump out. I want us to talk about dreams, children, intent, and, what you said earlier about calling it, which in your case was Mrs Simpson. There's a part in the book where you're sharing with us in your childhood, you would pick up the phone. Basically, your mom's call center agent. Thami speaking, good day. I could visually see you, although I don't know you as a child.
I have to share pictures so you can actually see.
I could feel the joy behind the voice who's answering this call. And my question to you is your thoughts about us as parents, children, and how we lead children to their dreams by allowing them, because I think a big part of it was your mom allowing you to be you.
Yeah. Again, I give all kudos to my mom for a lot of what I've turned out to be. Obviously, she's guided by God on what I've turned out to be.
Yes.
A lot of times when you have a vocal child, especially like a kasi, you grow like oh yeah, papa.
Yeah.
And my mom would be like, but she's mine. Like, leave her to be exactly that. Yes. My mom never felt the sense of embarrassment of my loudness. And I was loud. I was maybe not loud. I've always been super vocal. Yes. I'm very comfortable to speak about my feelings and vocalize my emotions. Yes. I'm a little bit more tactical about it now that I'm older. And I was always the kid who wanted to entertain. So even when it was inappropriate for family meetings, like, no, we're having a serious meeting, they'd have to give me my fight. Like Thami wanted to entertain. And it was never like, oh, Michael Jackson. Look, I dance really well, by the way. That's a secret that people don't know. I dance very well, but I don't show that off. So dancing was a thing for me. And it was never like reading a poem or anything intellectual. It was making up stuff on the spot. And that's what I actually did well with in drama school, in drama subject. I didn't go to drama school. Drama subject at school was impromptu. And that even works for me as a message. I can impromptu now if you put me on stage. It's just a talent that I have. But I'm very thankful for Uma allowing me to be, and it's informed even how I'm raising my kids right now. I've got a teenage boy who, by the time this is, he'll be in a different destination, so it's fine. Like I said, he actually flew to Cape Town this morning for a soccer tournament. I think a lot of parents would question why I allow him to slack so much in the academic side for that. But I just feel like kids know what they're gonna become. I knew from a very young age. I was walking around with an underarm roll-on, saying that I was going to be on global stages. And the last thing I'd want is for children to grow up and say, you didn't allow me to become what I was meant to be. Because a lot of times parents think they're guarding the children when they're actually putting the flame out of what is to become. That's very profound. I mean, I think how you articulated the fact that people are different, the fact that I think somewhere you say that some are elephants, some are climbing
rhinos,
the tree.
they can climb, some they cannot, but society wants us to measure everyone with the same yardstick, right? Somewhere in the...
I'm not society. No, I'm joking.
You say somewhere in the book, back to the drama item, you say somewhere in the book that imagination saved me.
Yes.
Meaning your imagination saved me. Just because I think most of us, we have the imagination, a capability as children, and we lose it along the way. How did imagination save you in this case? And how does it continue to do?
I think it still does. I actually speak about it in my TEDx Talk as well.
Yes.
The TEDx Talk is titled "My Imagination Helped Me to Become."
Okay.
And my childhood, although I am so grateful for it as an adult, because if I were to change anything, I wouldn't be who I am now and who I'm going to become. And I think I'm pretty dope.
Yeah, obviously.
Thank you. So I wouldn't change anything about it. But there was a point, and when I say point, it was years. It wasn't like a few days. Where I was in a very abusive home. And I wouldn't do well at school because of what was happening at home, partly because I was lazy. I didn't want to pull up my socks at school. And I don't want to blame it and say, oh, because emotionally, like I don't want to blame all of that anymore. But I think I didn't apply myself much in school. And so I wouldn't hand in homework or projects, or I'd fail a test and then they'd bring my parents in. Then I'd go back home. I'd get beaten up for not doing that and be around that abuse. Cycle. It was such a vicious cycle. Yeah. So I found comfort in going in my bedroom.
Okay.
I'd lock my door. And this was before I had this hi-fi. So when my dad bought me this big hi-fi with two big speakers, he didn't know what he was doing because I'd put it on full blast and then like the windows would go and he was like, no, we need to take it out. But before that hi-fi set had come in, I would then hold whatever it was, an underarm roll-on, hair conditioner, and I'd make that my microphone.
Okay.
And I would imagine myself on global stages. I was like, one day I'm going to leave this house and someone will discover my talent and this will happen. Little did I know that God had already discovered my talent. Yeah. And so I would live in my imagination bubble so much that it saved me from thinking of the pain that was surrounding me.
Yeah.
The counter of that is I would then say my imagination stuff out loud, but it was lies because it was in the imagination. And so a lot of my friends back then was like, huh? Is she cuckoo? Like, is she normal? I'd be like, I swear. And I'll give you an example because I can't remember clear, but I'll give you an example. Like it would be, I'd imagine myself with President Nelson Mandela, let's say that.
Yes.
But I'd go to school and say, I was with Nelson Mandela, but that was in my imagination. So, but I'm so thankful for it because it's, look at me now. I mean, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Look at me now. And I don't live as much in my imagination.
Okay.
But every now and again, I go into that deep space.
Okay.
That very deep space.
Yeah.
And I know that when I'm there, those things are going to become.
That's an interesting way of manifesting. And then perhaps you should run workshops on that just to teach all of us.
Yeah.
But I want to just touch a little bit on this topic about moving from darkness to light, because it's a theme that you carry throughout the book. And to some people listening to us right now, to share perhaps your view in terms of not staying too much. Yes, bad things happen to good people, but how do you move?
To bad people.
Yeah. How do you move from there to seeing the light, to seeing the silver lining? Because I think society where we are today, with the levels of depression, suicide, you often see that people are stuck in a dark place and there is no light. And what kind of light, what can you share to people listening to us today with regards to moving from the dark to light? Because the dark will be there, but how do you then transcend to the light or see the light with its darkness?
I think I interjected with bad people for a reason. Sometimes people are in the dark because of the choices they've made.
Yeah.
And then they blame the dark. And you're like,
Okay.
And I don't think anybody gets a get out of jail free card when it comes to that. By virtue that we're gifted, the gift of choice means there's some choices you're going to make that are going to be an epic flop, and some are going to be great.
Yeah.
So when you make the choice and you are in the dark, you first got to accept your contribution to the situation.
Okay.
I don't think we live in a society that's very comfortable to talk about their mistakes and their flops. And then they want to blame all the ripple effects of the choices that they have made.
Yeah.
The quickest way to move out of those is just accept how you contributed towards it.
Okay.
And I'm not taking away that there are those moments, and some dark situations that are brought upon you.
Yeah.
And you haven't brought it upon yourself. I didn't ask to be born in the family that I was born into. It happened to me.
Yeah.
But it's in understanding that even those things, at some point, the light is going to shine.
Yeah.
I think that and I want to be super careful of how I phrase this. It's okay to want to deal with your trauma, your anxiety, your depression. I just think we've come into a society where we wear trauma as a badge of honor.
Okay.
So process it, but don't wear it as a badge of honor. The number of podcasts, shows, masterclasses, let me teach you how to get to trauma. And a lot of times those people want to teach it are in trauma themselves if you observe them. So how are you teaching other people?
Yeah.
So I think nobody gets a free card from trauma, depression.
Yeah.
In some sort of grading. Some are obviously severe and some are not severe.
Yeah.
But you've got to process it and don't carry it like a badge of honor. And please don't mistake me for those who have mental illness.
Yes.
There's also, but those are extreme situations. I'm not talking about people who are dealing with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Thami. Not to carry trauma as a badge of honor. That's an interesting new insight for me. The other theme you carry in the book is, in fact, something that you say, which I thought was so profound, is that if you want to make impact, you expose yourself to people. Obviously, I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah.
And people are going to judge you.
I remember that part.
Scrutinize you. They will,
Yeah.
you put yourself on the spotlight because you want to make impact. And society is not always kind. How do you deal with that? Even to this day, you are in global stages, local stages, big people, ordinary people, influential people. How's that working out for you? How is that? Because you're making impact, but you're scrutinized.
Hey, it's working out. With many tears behind closed doors, but it's working out.
Yeah.
I'll start with the fact that when I initially wrote the book, it wasn't my intention to go, oh, yeah.
Yes.
Do you know?
Yes.
But as the process was going on, I realized that God wanted me to spill it out there.
Okay.
And I needed to spill it out there because when you become big, people want to focus on your mistakes. And so if people were to come to me and say, oh, but she dated, I'm like, yeah, I wrote about it on page.
It's there.
I just didn't mention his name because I have to respect him.
Yeah.
Oh, she did this. Yeah, but I spoke about it because once you do that, you own your story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not this PR thing of I'm owning my story, but you're still, putting icing on the cake. I was pretty raw because I want people to start focusing on my talent and what I'm actually put here for and my purpose.
Yeah.
And so I put it out there.
Yeah.
I also am a firm believer, I think you saw it you probably read in the book, where, not probably, man, you read this book, you're calling all the pages, where I say, everybody has skeletons in the closets, just take them out and bury them. Yeah. And I was at a point where I was tiptoeing around my greatness because I was like, what if people find this out? Yeah. And what if people find, yes, I did it. I'm human. I messed up. I'm sorry. Yeah. Allow me be. Okay. And so I'm very big on that. Yeah, I hang around some really cool people that I can't talk about half the time, even when I'm behind closed doors with them or at their homes. Yeah. And I find even writing the book helped me give them comfort. Because I can't judge them. They can judge me back on what's written in the book. Yeah. And you start to also realize the only manual I believe in here on earth is the Bible. But other than that, none of us actually have a manual. Even people who are presidents, whatever, they didn't come to earth and experience earth first and then come back as a president. We're all just winging it, just with different titles. Yeah. The scrutiny, I think you're never given more than you can bear. It doesn't mean it doesn't hurt, but you're never given more than you can bear. I have a pretty thick skin, just because of the childhood that I come from. So I'm also very critical of myself. So nobody's going to be as judgmental to me than I am to myself. I already judge myself when I've done something prior.
Yeah.
But I understand that this comes as part of the package. Everything you do in life has its good, its bad, its ugly. Me being judged is just part of the package. It's part of the bad and sometimes part of the ugly. So I don't care to stop it. It must please come. Because the more they judge me, it means there's more eyeballs on me. That's more impact and influence. I'm cool with that. It's just sometimes how the how of how it's done to me. But there's nothing a little bit of crying and a bit of praying and a bit of junk food can't fix, right? Yeah.
That's the toolbox.
Yeah. and my circle of friends. I got super close circle of friends.
Yeah.
And they just know how to kind of prop up the girl quickly
you're
and let's
back.
keep it moving. Yeah.
You spoke about purpose, Thami, and your book is titled Finding Purpose.
Yeah.
And I don't want to reveal too much because I'm a firm believer that people must read. So I want people to buy the book and read. But I do want us to talk about finding purpose and how does one find purpose. I picked up from you about passion, talent. I was in a session a few days ago. I think it was Professor Alistair McQueen who also spoke about talent.
He's one of my friends.
Oh,
yes.
I see now the language. So just share a bit with us about purpose, how to find purpose. How did you do it in your instance?
I was very cheeky with the title because I don't think you find purpose.
Yeah.
Because if I say you find purpose and you ask me where I found mine in my shower. So do you want to come find yours in my shower?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody finds purpose. I think everybody was made with intention.
Okay.
From whatever the spiritual guide is that they believe in. I'm sure it's very obvious mine's God by now.
Yeah.
I don't think God was bored when he made me.
Okay.
He wasn't sitting there and go, oh, I've got extra clay. Let me put together a tummy.
Yeah.
Send her to earth.
Yeah.
There's something that we all need to do. What is for us is to discover it. Don't find it. Because it's already been in you. You don't find it because it's missing.
Okay.
You were born with it
Yeah.
inside of you. You just have to fight through life, circumstances, situation, just so it's not. Imagine your purpose, this just hit me now, is like a little jewel, a diamond. And all of life's situation starts covering it like dirty laundry. It's not gone. It's there. It's underneath.
Yeah.
It's for us to
find it again.
and then hold on to it.
Okay.
So I really think we overcomplicate things as society. I think that we find, sorry, I'm laughing at society because I'm a words person.
Yeah.
Have you noticed we go through phases where certain words are just used because they seem to be cool, even if they're not used appropriately. And I think purpose is one of those buzzwords that even people who don't understand it are the ones giving masterclasses on it. Purpose is not, it's not yours to create.
Okay.
We give to ourselves too much credit and control as human beings. We're actually not in control.
Yeah.
Sorry, sad reality. You're actually not in control.
Yeah.
There's higher sources and beings that are in control. And for me, there are 3.
Okay.
So I think we just need to back up a little bit from the pressure of those who pretend they know and have it all together. And just look within. Just look at life gives you patterns, man. It gives you signals. It's
whispers.
That's what Mama O says. She says whispers. I don't know if mine were whispers. Mine were like slaps across the face.
She does say this whispers, and then it will be a slap bang.
I think mine were just slap from the beginning. Maybe the speaking in my bedroom was a whisper. But from then on, it was.
You gotta.
Yeah, and the beauty is, the journey of life allows you to make a mistake for so many years. I climbed the corporate ladder very high.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I was starting to climb the corporate ladder and, hey, no, you're meant to be the message architect. This happened for years.
Yeah.
I was in Manco at the age of 24. I was handling budgets of 600 million per annum at the age of 29.
Wow.
I was dealing with massive, it allowed me for years until it was like, you're not meant to be here. That's not your purpose.
Yeah.
And I was just never fulfilled in corporate. And I always thought climbing would make me fulfilled. If I can. And then I got to a point where I was just like, I'm miserable. I have great income, great properties, great cars, but I'm miserable.
Yeah.
And then maternity leave happened for me with my second born child. I think there's something very spiritual about giving birth. And when I was during maternity leave, this message architect decided to introduce herself to the world. Yeah.
That is amazing.
The world knew Thami Nkadimeng, but then the world was introduced to the message architect.
It had to come. That's super profound, you know, how you craft it in terms of it's a discovery of purpose. I'm glad that you spoke about corporate in particular, because this leads me to my next question.
Okay.
Living authentically, showing up authentically. I watch a lot of your videos about authentic self and just showing up authentically.
So you watch Thoughtful Tuesday.
I do. So with the demands of the corporate world, can you say to us, or can you share with us some wisdom in terms of how do we live authentically with these demands of a corporate world that say show up like this, don't show this, there's this perfectionism, which you speak about also in the book?
It's hard. It's hard because I didn't even get to perfect it when I was in court. I didn't live authentically.
Yeah.
I think that corporate is a very hard game. It's like Survivor. Have you watched Survivor?
I have.
Where everybody's like meeting at the well on who to vote out, and it's literally like corporate is like outworked, outlost, outplayed. It really is like Survivor there.
Yeah.
And I don't think it'll ever change. I don't think I think it would be unfair for me to try and give toolbox that I couldn't even use and couldn't work for me.
Yeah.
It'll only ever change if people change.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if people will ever get to a point where it will take years and decades and centuries of undoing how we've always painted corporate. Because it's everybody's chasing the ladder to get to the top.
Yeah.
Everybody's chasing titles in corporate, whether we like it or not. I've lived there, so I know. And it's because of what it comes with. So chasing the title comes with the sense of I'll be respected more, and the money, and the being able to lead people, where mostly it's actually bossing people, not leading them.
Yeah.
But it's what we've been wired to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
As human beings. I mean, 90% of the time, people grow up in a home, what do they say? You go to school, you go to university, then you start a job so you can get on the ladder as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Then you find a boy or a girl, you marry them, and then you have children, and then you continue to climb this ladder.
Yeah.
So it's a hard one, because it's taken centuries of brainwashing. And if you're chasing those kind of things, can you really be true to yourself when you're trying to prove to somebody else that you deserve that spot, who's not true to themselves either?
Interesting, eh? And linked to that, you say in the book that you are or rather society is like a little factory or big factory, just reproducing all these factory faults of people. In your view, if you had an opportunity to run your own organization?
Which
what
I
kind
do.
of culture? Great, great. What kind of culture do you introduce there that you think sort of gets us there as the human race?
So I've been really blessed with a team of people who don't want to be known. So the world doesn't know my team of people. And it worked in my favor because I love this notion that's busy going around at the moment. You can't be friends with people who are jealous of you. And I don't know if I want to use the jealous, but I could not have people in my team who are fame hungry because then we're going to be battling each other.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So a lot of my best friends are not even on social media. Well, I lie. Some of them are on social media with accounts just to check on me.
Just to check.
And making sure that I'm real towards myself.
Yeah.
And so I do have a team of people that don't want to be known, and that's why the world won't really. I'm not, unless of course we're filling in a tender or whatever else. Then I have to say, oh, I have X number of people, and this is what they do. Blah 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 blah. And for the Thami Nkadimeng group, the culture is be yourself. And I say that because I want to backtrack. The minute you want to stipulate an actual culture, you're already telling other people they can't be themselves.
Huh. Big.
Because you're creating a mold. So we are all going to be like this in this organization. But some people are authentically not like that. So you're asking them to not be themselves.
Okay.
So the culture for me is everyone must just vibe, man. Like, come as who you are. And if our vibes are not vibing, then you must go because it's just not vibing. Do you know what I mean?
No bad blood, just go.
Yeah, just our puzzle's not puzzling.
Yeah.
But I don't want you to change who you are for my sake.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole masterclass that on culture in organizations and corporates and your spin on it. Because you're saying everybody must just be themselves.
Yeah, it's like
But
when
tell me
people...
about the vibing though. So the vibing, is that a congruence of values? Is that a synergy? What is the vibing for you?
So I have one base rule.
Yeah.
In those that are close to me, whether working with me or whatever. Do you believe in God or not?
Okay.
If you don't, we're already not vibing.
Okay.
Because it changes everything.
Okay.
Moving forward.
All right.
Already our value sets are not the same. Our belief systems are not the same. So that's my one caveat for me as Thami.
Yeah.
And so anything to do with me, that's the first criteria. That's the first checkbox.
All right.
Right.
Okay.
And so it's got to do with energy. I'm an energy person.
Yeah.
And I get in trouble a lot with my close friends.
Yeah.
Because I think in the world that we live in, a lot of people view people as guilty till proven innocent because of whatever hurts they come from. So when you come, they're already like, don't cross my boundary. I want to know you. And then you can let in. Yeah. I'm the total opposite, man. I'm innocent till guilty.
Okay.
Which gets me hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Which is much to the frustration of my close friends and family. But I think I'm happier that way. So for me, that boundary and that area is, I can feel energy. Quick. I may not react to certain things.
Yeah.
But nothing is unfindoutable for me. Do you ever make sense?
We've just created a new word, the unfindoutable.
I'm
I
a
told
find outer. Yes.
That is interesting. That is very, very interesting. Okay.
So it's not necessarily like what the person will do or well, maybe it is. Maybe it's what the person will do or the person will say. And that's partly, I think, why I'm really good at what I do as a message architect. There's a lot of moderators and you can listen. I listen for what's not said. Because therein lies a lot.
Wow. Okay. There's a lot to talk about there. I'm going to park it because we can go on there the entire afternoon. Mentorship. Today you brought with you someone with you, a young lady who's accompanying you today. And this is something that we found as a team very interesting when we were having the discussions to invite you into the e-lounge, that you intentionally want to bring a young person in every space that you go in. We invited to. This your philosophy on mentorship and coaching?
So I'm going to look this way because I'm looking right at her. I'm not sure if she's my mentee.
Right.
I don't like titling and labeling things like that.
Okay.
So I will first give you my philosophy on why I don't like labeling it, and then I'll explain why I like inviting other people. I don't want to say younger, but other people.
All right.
And then we'll maybe get to the age thing.
Okay.
Because I don't want to make myself sound old. I'm not old, okay?
Are you very young?
Yes, thank you. I take that. You better say that in the next 20 years still.
No, you're very young.
Good. I don't believe in naming people mentors and mentee. It's like saying employer and employee.
Yes.
By the time you've called yourself mentor and the other person mentee, you've already said the other one doesn't know as much as you.
Right.
But we all know just different things. So why are we classing and valuing who knows more and who knows less?
Yeah.
You've already made yourself the boss by
that
saying mentor and mentee. I also don't believe in this notion of I have to pick one or two people who are going to help me guide my life.
Yeah.
Like, what control do you have to do that?
Yeah.
I'd like to believe we're all born with a tool to be able to guide our own lives. What I believe in is being able to go to whoever you want to go to and ask questions. And that could be anybody.
Yeah.
And I use this because I'm not saying it derogatory. It could be the person who's pouring the petrol for you at the petrol station. It could be the cashier at the till. All those people have something to teach you if you're wise enough to listen and to ask. And sometimes mentorship is a painful thing for me in the sense that some people want to mentor others so they can go around showing the world how great they are teaching other people.
Yeah.
And then what lands up happening is they shut all the other people out and they only open doors for the select few.
Sure.
Are you making yourself a mini god here on earth? Like,
sounds like it.
I don't mind mentorship in its right form, but the way it's going about at the moment, just the values of it don't sit very well. I am agreeable to the thought process of we must help each other. If I've gone through this situation, don't go through it. I can help you.
Yeah.
But the way mentorship is happening, you must join a program, then this person will introduce you to their boss, then the boss will give you the job. What about the other kid who didn't get to meet you and also qualifies for that job?
Yeah.
What are we doing? It takes me back to even the way lobola is done now. The intention of why it was created is so warped now. And I think mentorship is so warped currently. So people can go, I did this for them.
Okay.
And so, I think there's some fine tuning and going back to the drawing board on how it is currently.
Yeah.
I believe that I'm blessed to bless. I actually write it in the book.
Yeah.
I am blessed to bless. That's my mantra. And so I love to share my blessings in one way or the other.
Okay.
I do believe that the message architect journey is a blessing. And I don't believe in shutting the door to other people because I'm afraid they're going to take my opportunities. If I think I'm so good at what I'm doing, I should be able to invite whoever into the room, and I will still be so good at what I'm doing.
Still, yeah.
And I don't think we can have a conversation of sustainability if we are not already prepping who to give our baton to. I already know who I'm taking the baton from. But the current state I'm in, who am I prepping to give it to?
Yeah.
And so I like to bring other people with me if they have interest in it.
Yeah.
By virtue that it's a younger person is a default thing. It doesn't always have to be a younger person, depending on the circumstance.
Yeah.
And so in conversation, I will quickly pick up, who's interested in what. And I intentionally don't speak about it publicly because I'm trying to refrain that thing of me being also boxed as, oh, she's a mentor. I don't want that baggage on my shoulders. Because the dad decided not to do it, then I'm a problem. No, thank you.
You are just sharing your blessings. That's all that you're doing to the world.
That's it. And if I'm not serving, then is this all worth it?
Yeah. Let's talk to women.
Yes, let's talk to women.
Women in South Africa commemorating
Women's Month.
Women's Month tomorrow. Actually, it's Women's Day in South Africa.
Now everyone knows when we recorded this.
Cheat sheet for you. That's great. Knowledge will come out one way or the other. Yes. But what would you like to say to the women of South Africa? And I want us to coin, well, you can diverge, of course, but when I read your book and there's a line there of a song, Sorry Not Sorry, Stop Apologizing.
Yeah.
And I was like, what would be your message to women if you were to coin it around that theme?
Oh, can you believe the jingle of that song's ringing in my head now and I want to sing it? I'm sorry, not sorry. I love that song. I want to say what's on my heart.
You must.
Because that's just how I am. I think everyone knows that's who I am.
You must.
I would love women to stop acting nice.
Okay.
I think we're filled with women who act nice, but the intentions aren't even pure.
Okay.
So they'll be nice because they want to fit in this sisterhood because of what this sisterhood will benefit for them.
Yeah.
Or it will give them exposure, or it will. And what we're starting to do as women is create these mean girl cliques.
Wow.
I would love women to focus on being good people. I'd love women to stop showing off their outputs but not honestly sharing how they got them. Some women have had to sell their souls to get what they've got, but they're not communicating it. Instead, they're saying to younger girls, you can be like me, but be honest, be a good person.
Yeah.
I'd love for women to stop pretending. I'm big on equality and equity. I'm a woman, for crying out loud. I want that. But I think we have also perpetuated a problem where when other women have opportunities, they shut others off just because they don't like them. We're perpetuating the problem of prolonging equity and equality on ourselves, and yet we use it as a tool.
Yeah.
Because why? Because we want to be nice and have people feel sorry for us. Can we just focus on being good people and honest people?
Okay.
That's it.
Sure. I want this part of our discussion to be a mini video as a reminder to women, because I think you touched on very crucial and important conversations that we don't get to as women in our spaces.
Because we're afraid.
Yeah.
Why are we afraid? Because you're scared that if you say the truth, the clique won't like you anymore.
True.
We've created such mean girls, groups just walking around Earth.
And it's time to stop.
I don't know if I have the authority to say that, but what I do have the authority to say is that I would like it to stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can we stop selling a lie to younger girls and to younger people?
I'm leaving it there as we wrap up, because I think that for me is very, very profound. But I wouldn't have done my job if I didn't speak about your mom again, because hey, mommy, it is Women's Month.
I'm actually going back home to her now. I'm so excited. She's waiting for me at home.
There's one thing that I wanted to close off. One line there you say, if there's one thing about mommy will always make a plan.
Yeah.
This is really in relation to your trip when you were in high school. I think
Mauritius.
you were going to Mauritius, right? And it's just your general take on how much women, mothers, are appreciated in society, and your take on it, especially in the South African context, where women are today and what they do to get their families, you and me, to be sitting where we are sitting today. Yeah.
Just what my take is.
Just your take
in terms of
the appreciation of mothers like your mom, who make sure that there's savings.
This is you're closing me off emotionally, because I'm a mom and I'll do almost anything for my own children. You touched on a point just about how my mom just made a plan for me to go for that first trip when I was 15, funny enough. So our oldest son is around the same age.
Okay.
And we just took him on a trip. We didn't take him on a trip. He also went on a school trip. It's not really a school trip, but it was with school friends.
Sure.
And he got to hop around. He went to Venice, Milan, Munich, and Paris for the winter holidays. And I promise you, well, I don't know, because I'm not a fortune teller or history teller, but the fact that my mom did that for me at that age was a no-brainer to do it for our son, because that exposure shifted my brain to how big the world is, and I need to be stuck. So I'm very thankful that she did that for me.
Okay.
But it was also like, in as much I liked nice things from boyfriends after that, they didn't take that away. My mom was the first one to send me internationally.
Sure.
They couldn't take that away. They couldn't, like my mom did that for me.
Done.
I appreciate women so much. I think we were resourceful. I love that women are so resourceful. And I love that we are just born nurturers that way. I think generally if a woman's not a nurturer, something really deep has shifted her, but she could always shift back. And one of the things I'm learning now is, even in being resourceful, don't forget yourself. Please buy yourself a bra if you need a bra, and stop wearing the torn bra
while you're looking after everyone
doing everything else for your kids. And I say that because there was a point where my husband and I were laughing literally at my underwear drawer, and I was like, oh my gosh, do people know what's happening? And it's not because I can't afford it, it's like a
wiring.
It's like a back burner thought of what I need to do. Don't worry, I did change my underwear drawer since then.
Thank God.
Exactly. But look after the people that you need to look after, but just don't do it at the expense of you not living how you want to live. Because the truth is, eventually, if these kids or this husband or whatever doesn't pay back in one way or the other, you're going to be resentful of them.
All your life.
Because you'll sit there going, I took you to expensive school, and now you asked, the kid didn't ask to be taken there, okay? And I think that's actually, funny enough, when I speak about lobola, a lot of parents use that as payback. So live, man. Allow yourself to have nice things as well, so that you're not resentful. I'm just lucky I don't like brands. Otherwise, yo, Gucci, wow, I'd be spoiling myself. Yeah.
Thami, it's been incredible speaking to you.
Thank you.
It's, I did say to Retabile, it's not going to be enough to speak to you in an hour, but I think that this has been an incredible. I just want to leave those who are listening to us with one thing. Thami, what she did here is very clever, actually. At the back of this book, I think the very last chapter, she shares acronyms. She's really a message architect. There's an acronym here. It's called HUNGRY, right? And from page 179 onwards, she just shares wisdom there with the HUNGRY acronym, and I do implore you to go to it after listening to this interview. After you've made your notes, go to it and do the exercise. You'll be amazed. You'll be amazed. Thami,
can I just say thank you?
Sure, of course.
It's I think people think because I'm around a lot of crowds, I get affirmed by words. I don't often get that. People appreciate the craft that I deliver, and my love language is words of affirmation.
Okay.
So thanks for saying that, because I'm listening to you and I'm like, I often forget that actually I am wise and it's okay to accept it.
Yes.
So thank you so much for that.
Yes.
I walk away feeling full in my heart. Thank you so much.
It's an absolute pleasure. You are more than trailblazing in our society. You've raised the flag for women in South Africa and all over Africa and the world, I dare to say. Your book, which is the first, I'm sure there's many to come.
Pressure.
I think that it makes for good exercise of reflection for individuals. It did certainly for me in the different aspects, because there's many layers that you're sharing about yourself, but also Aramira, they pose as a reflection opportunity for individuals, most importantly in terms of finding out who you are as an individual and be unwavering about your spiritual beliefs, and also what I like very much is your take on culture and vibing and not vibing with people and not being pretentious about it at all. Thami, it's been incredible. Thank you very much. We wish you more in the work that you do. As your name, if you allow me, you are Noma Tamsanga.
Yes.
Those who don't know, in my language, Noma Tamsanga is the one who is blessed. Fortunate as well. And I take this to say that with your name, may you have more fortune coming your way.
That's so beautiful. I actually say Noma Tamsanga is fortunate and Nkadimeng is borrowed. That's Betty. So I'm living my fortunate God-borrowed life.
Amen. Yeah. Thank you very much, Thami. It's been an incredible session as usual in the e-lounge. Please do buy the books, read the books, because as Prof. Chiliz Marala says, those who want to lead should read. Thank you.